It's actually a great segue to my next question because you wrote an article called Competing on Imagination. And it was really directed more towards business, but you did have some actionable steps. There were seven things you talked about. Can you maybe talk about the top three from the seven?
Yeah, sure. I guess you can think of it in terms of blocks and enablers. So the top three blocks, I think, to imagination in companies. One is the idea of legitimacy. So often companies will want to see some kind of financial model of an idea before they're willing to take it seriously. But with imagination, it actually starts as a very personal thing. So it's often even just one individual who has an idea. And it's very hard for companies to take that seriously. An example is, my college in Oxford. I had this idea that they could buy whole different kinds of like fittings for like doorknobs and everything. I just felt that they were buying cheap stuff and there was ways to do it that was better, that didn't cost a lot more. Anyway, I thought it was a great idea. And I went to the head of, whatever, and she said to me, we can't really act on this unless you get like a petition of students, and there are all these hurdles. And for them, the hurdle, like the legitimacy was based on democracy. It was like, you need enough people who want this for us to do something. In companies, it's based on finance. Like we need to know, this idea needs to be well developed enough to know how much money it would make for us to like really take it seriously. So one challenge is taking something seriously that's just an individual idea.
Is there companies that you know of that maybe don't have that blocker?
Oh yeah, there are some great examples. Like one of the best ones is a company that not many people have heard of. It's called Recruit. The full name is Recruit Holdings. It's a Japanese company. They own a huge number of companies. Like I think someone described them as like LinkedIn plus Twitter plus Glassdoor, and they also own a whole lot of real estate. So they're a huge company. And they're really good at intrapreneurship, as they call it. So they have a system where if you're an employee in any department, you can email this group with an idea, and the barriers are very low to getting funding and getting started. So this internal group will hook you up with other members who are interested in the idea. They'll post it on a forum. You can get like a small amount of funding very quickly, like a few $100s or a few $1,000s. And then there are obviously like steps of funding and support, but it's not hard to move up them, and it's not hard to get on that ladder. And the other thing they're really good at doing is they have these massive events once a year which celebrate everyone who's thinking of ideas and turns them into heroes. So like, they stand up on stage, they talk about their idea, even if it's not fully worked out yet, and everyone claps. It's like a huge thing, lights, big audience. And the whole point, they say, is not really for the ideas themselves, it's for the people in the audience to tell them, you can do this too. Awesome. And out of this program has come a lot of new businesses that they've founded, and obviously they get the reward because someone has a great business idea, they invest in it, they own the equity, they make the profit. So it's a great system they have. Another American example is Zappos. And you've heard of them, Tony Hsieh. They have a very different business model entirely in terms of their organizational structure, but it's hugely decentralized. So their motto is, we interviewed them for the book, and Tony Hsieh, or what his someone in his team actually said that their motto is, in most companies, it takes only one no. So only one person has to say no to kill the idea. At Zappos, it takes only one yes to get it started. So everyone has their own budget that they control, and just one person has to say, yeah, that sounds cool, I'll pay for it with my own budget. And that's all you need to get an idea off the ground. So, that's awesome for encouraging like imaginative experimentation.